I'm not sure where the light truly came from, but the first thing I knew was that I was awakened by this horrible static noise and light flooding into my still sleeping eyes. The static pierced my ears and I shot up with a yelp. As the light left my eyes, I noticed that whatever the noise was, it was having quite an effect on Kieran Gray. Everyone else was gone, and a note quickly informed me that they had gone to check on some skeleton they had discovered. "Kieran!" I shouted. "What's going on?"
"You heard that too,"
Kieran replied.
"The static, it sounded like cats mewling, and that light, it was oddly calming."
The noise had dimmed away by now, and we were confused. The light, or at least the great majority of it, was gone, but we saw some heavenly blaze shine through the windows.
"Rainy,"
Kieran mentioned.
"Look outside."
And so I did. Outside, I saw a singular ball of light circling the mansion, tendrils of pure energy emitting out from it. Much to my confusion, the ball of light seemed less threatening and more inviting, as if it wanted us to go out and embrace the comforting holy light. And just then, as if the light had noticed our eyes upon it, the thing stopped circling the mansion and stopped just above the mansion's door. "Outside?" I asked.
"Let's go,"
Kieran agreed. We took our gear, standard survival bags, as we left the room, walked down the hallways, past the stairs, and all the way outside. The ball of light began to hover, and up close, it seemed smaller than before. Now it seemed almost minuscule, more like a small jar of fireflies, all rolled up into a ball. The light appeared to emit a soft static noise, exactly the same as the noise that had awakened us earlier. The light began to move, zipping across the yard and into the forest. Even in the uncanny darkness of the light, we knew where we had to go. To follow the light into the woods. To follow the light just felt right, correct even. And so, in the darkness of the night, we followed it into the woods, through the trees, through the bushes. Even when the light disappeared from view, we knew where we had to go. It reminded me of an odd case my friend, Tiffany's brother Canopy, had told me. Once, Canopy was tasked to investigate a strange forest in which people in a small town were being drawn to. As I had expected, the people never came out, at least to the town's point. Well, they did, but the people of the town simply didn't accept that their relatives and children who had been drawn into the forest were real. Canopy and his investigative partner searched for an explanation, and so they ventured into the forest. He said it was as if the moment he stepped foot into the forest, it lured him into its heart. He felt as if it felt right, that he belonged to the forest. Eventually, he and his partner reached the centre, and there they discovered these husks of people who were drawn into the forest. He said they suddenly felt threatened, manipulated and hunted. Something was in those woods, not killing those people, but erasing them from the minds of all who had known them. And so, Canopy realised the two of them had been lured in, and they were soon to be next. They began to search for a way out, but minutes turned to hours, and hours turned to days, and as they walked for ages, they felt themselves fading away, becoming as dead as the husks in the centre. And that's when they saw it. A ball of light appearing from a lake. They felt an overwhelming sense of comfort, and they followed the sphere, which led them for days on end until it led them outside the dark forest, returning them safely back to the town from which they came. Canopy remarked that the light felt welcoming, a beacon in a sea of night. And that was the way I felt now. A quarter of an hour had passed, and the light had now faded away. In the distance, through the wet leaves of the trees, something stood over it, a large and unwelcoming monument, yet not threatening as the forest that Canopy encountered.
"What?"
Kieran began as we reached the monument.
"The hell is that?
I have no idea. And before us, reaching into the skies, was a 9-sided pyramid, each side painted with pictures from a forgotten age, murals describing bizarre scenes and unfathomable events. One side, however, was not adorned with the paintings nor colour, and instead had a door. "It's gorgeous," I mentioned. "The structure, I mean."
"But what is it for?"
Suddenly, we both came to realization.
Could it be the girl's shrine?
"Marie Childress!"
Exactly,
Kieran cheered. And so, we gripped the door's handles and slid it open. A gust of chilling wind escaped it, and we were taken aback. Inside, in the centre of the monument, lay a door. A white door. It led nowhere, and it seemed odd to place an anachronistic white door in the centre, yet it did seem fitting, and somehow I was able to almost sense something behind it, as if it was only waiting to be opened. Against our better judgment, we went through it, not opening it. It felt as if it was already open. Everything seemed the same, yet something was obviously off with the world as we passed through the door. The air, for lack of a better word, was stale.